Hi everybody, welcome back to Movie Related. It's time for Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett, the Tribes of Tatooine. And I wasn't very impressed with episode 1. But episode 1 was only about 30-some minutes. This one's almost an hour. So maybe longer means better.
Okay, coffee everywhere. That was my next coffee. Damn it.
Okay, hey, give us a little rundown of this one, Paul. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm getting the idea that each episode is going to be a short little thing in present time.
Yeah.
And then to the back to pod and flashbacks for the bulk of the episode. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, remember in the episode 1, he was ambushed by all these guys, and they captured one of them. And they force him to say who sent him, and he says the mayor.
Yeah.
And you remember, the emissary from the mayor came, and he was kind of threatening in the first episode. They take the guy to the mayor, and the mayor seems kind of cool.
Mayor says, yeah, whatever, but, what makes you think I sent them, or I wasn't told to send them?
But the guy says these assassins aren't even allowed to operate outside of a certain area.
Yeah.
Like, chill.
Yeah.
And then the mayor says, hey, why don't you go back to the cantina, and that might enlighten you a little bit.
And you know who the actress is, right? Who's playing the owner of the cantina?
No.
That's Beale from Flashdance.
It is?
Yeah.
Wouldn't Beale be like 83 years old by now?
No, that's
looks
her.
good.
Usually not bad, not bad.
And when he's there at the cantina, the twins are in town.
The huts.
The huts, and they're a girl hut and a boy hut. You can't tell the difference. But they come and they say...
One smaller.
True. They come and they say, hey, this territory is ours. Everything, it belonged to Jabba. Jabba's dead, now it's ours. And there's a standoff with Boba Fett. And they said, well, listen, we're not going to get into any bloodshed. Bloodshed's bad for business. We'll settle this later. And then flashback time.
Yeah. And by the way, I've noticed a trend in this storytelling so far. And that is, everything has to take a long time. They're inside the cantina and they hear the music stops, everybody stops, they go outside, and we look down the street, and out from the building comes they're carrying the 2 huts. All these guys are carrying the 2 huts on, and they're coming, and then we just... And I swear to God, we watch them walk towards us for what seems like an eternity. Then they have this little conversation.
The huts are heavy.
Yeah, I don't mind. But we didn't need to watch them walk down a 50-mile street. And finally, when they get there, they have a little conversation, and then he goes, and he does this flashback. And in the flashback, we watch him do the same fighting moves 45 times in different segments of the thing. And I don't, it just seems drawn out. Even the montage scene when they're learning to ride the speeders just seem to go on. And we both looked at each other because there's a scene, if you look at this show, where they're practicing jumping from one speeder to the other speeder, and it looks like the guy's already sitting, and then he throws himself off. And that's just bad editing is what that one was.
Or maybe he's not very bright.
I don't know, but it was like, what? What just happened? I don't...
So the idea of the flashback this time is he's learning to fight. Like the main warrior of the tribe is teaching him how to fight with the staff. And suddenly there's this weird speeder train that comes through the desert, starts shooting up the village. And don't get me started on how stupid the sand people are.
Yes.
Like... crazy stupid. Like all they had to do was duck down behind the sand and everything would be fine. The train would just go. But no, they stand up like this so that they could be shot. Half the village shot because they're dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Boba Fett says, you know what, we got to stop the train. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to stop the train. Just give me a couple weapons and I'm going to figure out how to do it. And that's the episode. So they get the speeders somehow on another adventure, and then they use the speeders to attack the train, and he ingratiates himself to the tribe by helping them defeat this dastardly train.
And he ends up going on a vision quest with a lizard up his nose. And he goes on a vision quest to the desert, and he has flashes of himself as Boba Fett being entangled in a tree, and he breaks off the branch, and then the next thing you see is he's walking back to the village.
Long walk, because you can see him way off in the distance. Here he comes, walking back, and it's always, That's his only time right now. That's the only acting I know he can do. Very good at it. And so he breaks off a branch from this mystical tree that he got in his vision, and he makes it into one of their Sand People staffs. And at the end, they sign off by exploring some cultural dance from the tribe.
Which he knows how to do.
Well, I assume that he's been there a while, and they've done this before. They don't have to show us everything.
It's like, you know those dance teen movies when all of a sudden they break out into a synchronized dance at the prom? That's what this was. They all start the same move, and it's dum 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 and all that, and flipping around the staff and all these complicated moves. Okay, whatever.
Now, when he came out from his vision quest, they dressed him up in all this stuff, and when I'm looking at him, thinking, wait a second, that's kind of what Kenobi looked like in A New Hope. Am I just reading?
Except black.
Yeah,
it's all dressed in black, where Kenobi's white.
But the outfit looked kind of similar, didn't it?
A little bit.
So maybe Kenobi went through the same kind of experience?
I don't know. Don't give him any ideas. Maybe we'll have a flashback of Kenobi going through this now. And then, just as they're doing their dance around the fire, dun, 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 it ends. He hasn't woken up from his dream yet in the pod.
Okay, so by your tone...
I'm not impressed. And you know what? To be fair, I've just watched The Witcher, second season, and I've just watched Wheel of Time. And at no point can I even come close to comparing this on the level of those two shows.
That's what I notice.
It's not even close.
Now, is it because they're going for the authentic Western style?
No.
Or is it because it's just not a very good show?
It's not a very good show. It's a very slow show. Here's some fan service. Look, he's being dropped into the pit, everybody. You know what happened this time in Star Wars. And it's like that. Here's a speeder. Here's how you learn how to ride a speeder. It's like, just here's some stuff, but there's no substance to the story.
What I notice in Wheel of Time and Witcher is that the acting, they are their characters.
Yes.
And I feel a sense of, like, I'm completely enveloped in what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're going to do next. And in this one, I just see people on the screen trying to act.
Yes. And you know what? Mandalorian, season 1, I felt he had a backstory. He had a culture. He had a mission. This was this was the person. I knew who he was. This one, I have no idea who Boba Fett is.
Well, we're exploring who he is with the flashbacks.
Yeah, but I knew in episode 1 of The Mandalorian what kind of guy this guy was going to be. This guy is being beaten up all of a sudden, but he's beaten up with these guys, but then he goes to these guys and he's really super good at fighting, and then he goes back over here and he gets his butt kicked again. Like, there's no consistency in the character, it seems. And maybe it's going to get better, but man, it's a slow, drawn out show right now.
It's not something that has captured my imagination.
No, and I'm so disappointed.
And I haven't watched a lot of Witcher, 2 or 3 episodes, and like that show is fire. Like, it's just, I want to watch the next one. And all the way through the hour-long episode, my eyes are glued to the screen. This one?
Well, I just turned on Wheel of Time, and I binge watched all the shows in 2 days. This one, I'm dreading waiting for 7 more days to have to watch another episode because it's not intriguing me. It's not linking me to a few. This ended with me going, what's the next show about?
But I think Mark would have liked this.
But I don't think Mark knows why he would have liked this, and that's the problem.
Just because he wants to like it?
Just because it's Star Wars.
He wants to like it.
He wants to like it. And I can see that, because I like Star Wars. I would really like to go to Disney right now and go to Star Wars Land and see all the stuff. I would enjoy that immensely. But this show...
You know what I'm realizing? Is that I used to like Star Wars.
Yeah?
Chapter 4, 5, 6. Like... Great movie, greatest movies, like
right up there,
like top 15 kind of movies, right?
Yes.
And Star Wars, arguably, maybe top 5, but like the prequels and the recent trilogy, season 2 Mandalorian, this show.
Yeah. And
why am I watching?
And none of even the animations that they're trying to press New Republic on everybody, and that's the big thing now. And I could care less about it. Like. It's no.
So maybe I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore?
I don't think I'm a fan of Disney Star Wars, and that might be the issue. That might be the issue. Unfortunately. Sorry, Star Wars fans out there, but I'm not enjoying this show.
Like it's not terrible. It's just not good.
Like, if we weren't reviewing it, I would probably not watch the next episode. There's nothing that has led me to say, I gotta watch that episode.
Like, we're gonna have to talk to Mark and see if we're gonna continue reviewing it then.
Because I'm watching other series on television, and I can't wait to watch the next episode. I can't wait. And this one...
Like, I'm watching...
I could care less.
Like, how many seasons are there of Superstore?
Oh, yeah. You know.
Like, that's an old show now. There's lots of seasons, and just, 20 to 30-minute episodes, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything for this.
Nope. And that's a problem.
And because Filoni and Favreau are supposed to be the saviors of Star Wars, and this is what they're giving us.
Yeah. But here's the problem. It's a television show. They're not putting in the budget, they're not putting in the money, and they're just coming up with characters that people might be interested in. Instead of saying, you know what, let's concentrate on making another Star Wars movie and correcting all the wrongs we've done in the previous Star Wars movie that we've started, the other trilogy. And let's do it right.
Well, why are other TV shows doing it right?
I don't know. Because maybe they don't have the Disney logo and can do things. Let's face it, Witcher and Wheel of Time, far more violent, far more graphic than anything that Disney's ever going to put out. And that affects the plot. And I really don't... I think this story, from what I'm seeing so far, they've written about 18 pages of actual story in the present time, and then it's all going to be backstory and just drawn out scenes.
Well, if Disney is going to have a successful streaming service, they're going to have to appeal to an older audience as well as children.
Yeah. And they're not. They're not right
so
now.
Far.
They're not. And maybe they need to take Star Wars and take it off of Disney in the Disney Channel part and put it on their Star service, which is like their regular cable, Hulu. So they can do some things that might appeal to more people. I don't know what the answer is, but right now, they're not doing a good job. They're not, unfortunately. So what do you give this episode?
Well, it's tough because I think I gave the last episode 6.5. I thought this one was... I'll say... I'm going to bump the first episode down to a 6, and I'm going to say this one was also a 6.
I'm going to give it a 5. It's a very mediocre show right now. The acting has been mediocre. The story is very, very mediocre, and the action is very, very mediocre. So far, very, very disappointed. Much like most of the Disney shows lately.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
Like Marvel stuff?
Marvel stuff, yeah. Yeah, there's not one Marvel stuff that I said, whew, gangbusters. That was a success.
No, even the one we liked the most was just
It was
good.
okay. It was okay.
Good.
Yeah, I accepted it. Yeah. Uh-oh, Disney. What are you going to do to appease people who love Star Wars? Because so far you're not doing it. That's it. That's a long, drawn-out review of a long, drawn-out show. Hope you liked the review. If you did, why not hit that thumbs up button and maybe hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I know some of you haven't hit it because there's more views than subscribers sometimes. So hit that subscribe button. Until next time, we'll see you on the channel.
Okay, coffee everywhere. That was my next coffee. Damn it.